Go ahead and get going in this practice. So, as usual, we're going to do our Hatha series, 26 postures. We'll do some second sets, some second set variations. We'll end with our breathing exercise. Might do a couple things just a little bit different, just to get a couple different poses in here. Just a little something different on our body. As usual, got my wife here. She's taking the class, gets her a little bit of free exercise in this morning. But as I said, always begin in breathing exercise. Let's just start with pranayama breathing. So come up to the middle of the mat. Just want to stand heels and toes together. You can relax the arms down by the side. And you keep the chest lifted. You can close the eyes and just begin to take a few breaths just to tune in. And throughout the practice, just think about nice, easy breath in through the nose. And then just as easy back out through the nose. And just imagine just the breath, just following the length of the spine into the mouth, into the nose, down the spine, all the way down to the pelvic floor. And on the exhale, just imagine just gently gathering the pelvic floor, cinch the waist, just squeezing the air out. It's not always how we're going to breathe in the class, but just a little technique just to be able to feel the breath, be able to get into our bodies a little bit. So as we get going, pranayama breathing, 6 seconds in through the nose, 6 seconds out to the mouth. Let's begin by interlacing all 10 fingers under the chin, lightly press the thumbs against the throat. Start by exhaling all the breath, empty out the lungs, and then take an inhale through the nose. Just take your time, the elbows will lift, the chin should stay nice and level. And then on the exhale, lift the chin towards the ceiling and try to squeeze the elbows to touch. Good. And then inhale, the chin comes slowly level. The elbows slowly lift up towards the ceiling, keeping the length. And then exhale, lift the chin. And imagine, don't think about bending the neck backwards, rather than just lifting the chin towards the ceiling. Good. And again, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, nice and slow. Inhale, chin level. And as the elbows lift, just imagine the outer armpit, shoulder blades lifting towards the ceiling. And then exhale, lift the chin. And as we squeeze the elbows together, imagine the elbows touching around your shoulder height, but also the rib cage. Wrap around the rib cage. Good. And again, inhale. Taking our time as the ribs expand, as the lungs expand, drawing the breath in. And then exhale, HA out through the mouth as we squeeze the elbows together. And again, nice and slow. Inhale. As you draw the breath in, feel the mat beneath the feet. Feel the crown of the head lengthen up. Keep that length. And then exhale, lifting the chin. Shoulder blades wrap around the rib cage as the elbows come together. Good. Few more. Inhale. Nice, slow, steady breath in through the nose. And HA out through the mouth as we squeeze the palms, the wrists, and elbows together. Good. Inhale. Loud breath. Throat muscles constrict. Straight spine. Exhale. Keep the straight spine and squeeze the air out. Imagine even using your belly muscles to press the air out. Good. Last one here. Nice and slow. Inhale. Elbows lift. Chin stays level. Now come up just a little bit higher. And exhale, HA, squeezing the palms, the wrists, and elbows together. And good. Relax the arms down by the side, maybe roll the shoulders out a little bit. The feet came apart, we can bring them back together. In our first pose, we get to warm up a little bit with half moon. So inhale the arms up above the head, interlace all 10 fingers, index fingers released. And here again, find some length, stretch up, and just rock the body right, rock the body left, just warming up a little bit of lateral flexion here. And then after a few times each way, you can take a nice, easy back bend. As you get that easy back bend, just imagine drawing the belly button towards the spine. Start to use those abdominals in these back bends. Good. And then take a forward fold. You bend the knees, bring the hands to the mat. And here we're just going to get a little opportunity for some free movement. So I'm going to squat down. I'm going to pedal the heels out a little bit. Any sort of arm movement that might feel nice on your body, go for that. We'll come back to this 2 more times, so get a couple chances to do this. Good. All right, hands come together. Find a little back bend in the middle spine as you inhale, come all the way back up to the top. Good. Now from here, take an inhale again, lengthen fingertips towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, let's reach up and over towards the right side of the room. So as we're reaching towards the right side of the room, just keep the breath nice and steady, nice and easy in through the nose. And nice and easy back out to the nose. We're always just trying to find just a steady state. So nice, calm, fluid breath in and out. But now start to squeeze the hands a little bit. Bring some sensation in the hands. Make sure you're using your pinky side, your thumb side. And if you feel like there's any bend in the arms, just try to straighten the elbows out. Now here's where we need a little bit of strength. Start to bring the biceps back behind the ears. So imagine the shoulder blades, the bottom tips of the shoulder blades are moving towards the rib cage as we press the hips further to the left, squeeze the hands and try to stretch them further to the right. And then change, come all the way back up. Same thing, left side, squeeze the hands, inhale, lengthen, fingertips up. And on the exhale, up and over towards the left side. And again, same thing. Keep that steady breath in through the nose and the steady breath out through the nose. We're always trying to keep that steady breath kind of working in our parasympathetic nervous system. Now, same thing here again. Squeeze the hands. The pinky sides engage, thumb sides engage. Just feel that sensation in the hands. Feel the balance in the forearm muscles as you squeeze the hands. Arms are straight. Biceps are back behind the ears. Remember again, those bottom tips of the shoulder blades are pressing towards the spine. Now lift the front chest up. Just push the hips over towards that right side and then reach the fingers further to the left. And then change. We come up with an inhale. First backward bend. So the first back bend, you keep the arms up if you like. If you want something a little more assisted, you can bring the hands to the low spine, whatever feels good. But inhale, find some length. And exhale, lift up and back. So again, how we did in the warm-up, keep the abdominal muscles slightly engaged. So you want to use those muscles to control a little bit of this back bend. But it also helps us define length in this back bend, so we're not crunching down on any specific area in our spine. Again, squeeze the hands, bring the biceps back by the ears, and reach the fingers further down the back wall. And then inhale, breath, come up, belly's engaged. Then exhale, fold forward, hands come to the mat. Good. Second little opportunity here for some free movement. So we're squat, rinse. If you want to put the hands out, do a little spinal twist, pedal the heels. Good. Now let's take Pada Hastasana. Deep bend in the knees. If you can reach the hands underneath the back of the heels, cup them if you can, palms up, pinkies touching. If you can't get that, feel free just to grab the ankles or whatever works. There, take an inhale breath. And on the exhale, straighten the legs. And begin to pull the forehead close to the shins. Now you can keep a little bit of bend in the knees. Imagine trying to keep the stomach firmly compressed against the thighs. Work that anterior compression in the front side. Now maintain that as you take an inhale breath. And on the exhale, try to straighten the legs a little bit more. Try to squeeze the elbows a little tighter and bring the forehead to the shins. And then releasing the grip. We engage the hands, flat back brings this up. And mountain pose, hands to the side. Good. Take a breath here. And then let's do a second set. Second set, inhale the arms back up over the head again. Cross the opposite thumb on top this time. Find that length. Fingertips up, crown of the head towards the ceiling. Keep it. And on the exhale, reach up and over to the right side again. Again, keeping that breath steady in and out through the nose. We know we're squeezing the hands. Elbows are straight. Biceps by the ears. But on the other end, start to feel the mat beneath the feet. So 3 points of contact, the ball of the big toe, the outside of the little toe, and the heel. And once you feel that, start to squeeze the calves together. Start to squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. Feel the inner part of the legs firing up. Then hips go to the left. Lifting these left ribs up towards the ceiling, arms straight, reach the fingers further right. And then inhale, lifts us up. Good. Second side, inhale, lift up, find that length. And exhale, up and over to the left side. Steady breath in and out through the nose. And the chin should be level too, so that just helps the airflow in and out through the nose. Squeezing the hands. Elbows straight, biceps by the ears. We're working those back muscles to bring the biceps behind the ears. But again, feel those points of contact in the feet. Base of the big toe, base of the little toe, and the heel. Calves are squeezed. Inner thighs are squeezed. Now we bump the hips further to the right side. The right ribs lift up towards the ceiling as the arms are straight. Hands squeeze, reach further left. And change. Inhale, back up. Good. Second backward bend, again, two options, arms up or assisted. But again, inhale, find length, press the mat away through the feet, keep that length, and reach up and back towards the back of the room, back of the mat. Drawing the navel towards the spine, almost like you're decreasing that circumference of the waist, just to get those abdominals, those transverse abs engaged in this posture. Hips move forward. The front ribs lift towards the ceiling and then bend back, reach further down the wall. And inhale, come back up. And forward fold. Here's our last chance for free movement. So squat, rinse, twist, pedal. We're getting fairly warm, so we won't stay here too long. And then let's keep this first set same thing. Another deep bend in the knees. Maybe even get a little bit deeper down. Maybe the fingers move a little further up under the heels. Now take an inhale. And on the exhale, belly to thighs, feel that compression. Just imagine those muscles in the hip creases here. You're using those to bring the belly closer to the thighs. Now we want to squeeze the elbows towards one another behind the calves. And at the same time, we'll feel the shoulder blades wrapping around the rib cage. Take an inhale breath here. And on the exhale, straighten the legs, elbows come to touch, forehead on the shins. And releasing the grip, hands together, flat back in the spine, stomach engaged as we inhale, come all the way up. And mountain pose. Good. Taking a breath here. Now we get our chair series here. Now here, take about a 6-inch step to the right side. If you want to measure, that's roughly 2 fists between the heels and toes. It's not completely accurate, but basically stack the hips right above the heels. Arms come up parallel to the ground. Fingers squeeze, fingertips pointing forward. Inhale, breath. And on the exhale, start to sit a little bit lower. Good. Now here's where we're sitting low, arms straight. With the matting, with the feet, feel the mat beneath the feet. So the toes can slightly hug the mat a little bit. You don't want to like scrunch up the toes too much, but try to bend the toes into the mat. That'll fire up some of these muscles in the bottom of the feet. Help maybe build out that arch a little bit, supporting our foot. Now chest lifts. Find a little of that back bend in your middle spine as you start to drop the hips a little bit lower, lifting the chest a little more. And slowly push all the way up. Now here, arms stay where they are. Lift up high into the toes. Get the heels up as high as you can off the mat. Inhale, breath. And on the exhale, begin to drop the hips. And imagine as you drop the hips, think about these front thighs lifting up towards the ceiling. That'll encourage these heels to get a little bit higher. One day we want to have the feet perpendicular to them. Now we have these little muscles in the bottom of the feet again. We're strengthening these. Now, hips go low. Heels go high. And slowly push all the way back up. Heels down. Now we're going to do a little different version of the third set. So this time, bring the feet together. Take an inhale, arms up over the head, and then sit down into a chair. Feet together. Now, inhale, breath. Exhale, bring the hands to heart. Another inhale. And exhale, let's twist to the right. Just take this revolved chair here. Parvrita Utkatasana. We're still feeling the mat beneath the feet, But the hands should be roughly at your sternum, at your breastbone. And then you can use a little bit of that leverage into that right thigh as you try to turn the spine, looking up over that right shoulder. And change, come back to center. Inhale, arms up over the head. Exhale, hands to heart. Another inhale breath. And this time, twist to the left side. So the right elbow will go on the outside of that left thigh. We still want to feel the mat beneath the feet, feel the engagement of the inner thighs. So we're still squeezing together. Hands are at the sternum. And the forearms should be about one straight line. As we now think about squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit as you open up towards the left, looking over that left shoulder. And now come back to center. Inhale, arms up over the head. And forward fold. Good. Here, take an inhale breath. Just lift halfway. And fold. Here, inhale the arms up over the head. Palms come together. We're going to go into our eagle. Palms touch. And then swing the right arm underneath the left. If you can't quite get the double wrap, you can grab that left arm and pull it across the body. Now, inhale, lengthen. And on the exhale, start to sit down. Good. As you're sitting down, inhale that right leg high up and over the left. And in here, find balance in that left foot. So those 3 points of contact, inside and the outside of the foot, and the heel should be in contact with the mat. Now, most of us probably don't have mirrors here, but maybe bring the knees a little to the right a little bit. Good. Decreasing that circumference of the waist, draw the belly in towards the spine as we lift the elbows up towards the ceiling, and then forearms squeeze together. As the forearms squeeze together, try to stretch the forearms towards the front of your mat. Feel the shoulder blades wrapping around the rib cage. Now sit a little bit deeper. And slowly push up to the foot. Arms go up above the head. Release the foot. Arms all the way up. Palms together. And let's take our left side. So left underneath the right. Double wrap if you can. Otherwise, the left arm can pull the right across the body. Get a little bit of stretch on that posterior capsule, right side. Now drop the hips. And that left leg comes high up and over the right thigh. So the higher you can get the leg over the thigh, the more likely we can get that double wrap. But if you can't get the double wrap, squeeze the thighs together. Try to get that toe pointed towards the mat behind the calf. And then, like before, building from the ground up, find that steady point of contact. Base of the big toe, base of the little toe, and the heel. Now this side, we might need to move the hips a little more to the left. Keep squeezing the thighs. And now lift the elbows up towards the ceiling. Take the rounding out of the back, straight spine. And then feel forearms pressing in towards one another. Then stretch the forearms towards the front of the room. Shoulder blades will wrap around the rib cage. And change. Push up to the foot. Inhale the arms up over the head. Palms touch. And mountain pose. Good. So that is our warm-up series. Brings us to our first official water break. If you want to take a quick little drink, grab a quick little drink. And then we'll jump back into our balancing series here in a second. Good. All right. So when we've had enough water, refreshment, let's get back to the middle of our mats. Heels and toes together, arms by the side. If you want to turn around, that way you can. Now for standing pose, for balancing pose, standing forehead to knee. So here, firm down through that left leg, and then bring the right leg up. Now think about, we're using these muscles in the hip crease. Toes should be flexed, spine is straight. Feel the mat beneath the left foot. So those 3 points of contact we've been working on. Keep that. Now inhale, breath. On the exhale, lean at the waist, lean forward, and try to grab underneath the ball of that foot, interlacing all 10 fingers. If you can't quite get it, there's an option to grab the knee, grab the shin, but kind of hanging here will get you worked in towards this posture. Now, firm enough to that left leg, and then kick the right heel forward towards the front of the room. Toes should be flexed back towards the face. And then again, re-engage that left quadricep, straighten that leg, draw the belly in, and lift the chest. Good. Keep the chest lifted. Hug the elbows around the calf. You'll feel the shoulder blades here wrapping around the rib cage. And then our final part of this pose, final expression, start to either bring the gaze down to look at the left foot, or maybe one day you'll bring the forehead down to touch the knee, keep the heel up, toes back, and change. Slowly, we come back out and relax down. Good. Firm down through the right leg. Inhale the left knee up again. Toes flexed, knees parallel, legs parallel. And we feel those 3 points of contact in that right foot. Now inhale, breath. Exhale, lean at the hips. Again, we're leaning at the hips, not really rounding, but rather it's a lean. Now start to kick the left heel forward. And as the left heel goes forward, really firm down to that right leg. A lot of times we have the tendency to roll the weight to the outer edge of that foot. Press that right big toe mound into the mat. The toes slightly grip the floor. Chest lifts as we hug the elbows around the calf. Still looking forward, still breathing in and out through the nose. Now, final expression here. Start to round forward. You can bring the forehead down to touch the knee, or just bring the gaze down towards that right foot. And slowly, we come back out. Feet down, arms by the side. Good. Now we'll take a little back release. So you can bring your hands to the low spine. Take an inhale breath. On the exhale, push the hips forward, squeeze the elbows. You may get a little bit of a chest opener here. And good. Come back up. Now, second set. Second set, we'll do a little variation. So this time, take your left hand, left hip, and then reach down, right hand, grab for the big toe. Good. Now, when you have the big toe, start to kick the right heel forward. Again, we don't want to lose that balance in the left foot, so left big toe mound presses into the floor, toes slightly grip. Now here, when you're ready, open up towards the right side. You can take the left arm, the counterbalance, reaching out towards the left side of the room, but the chest stays lifted. Find a little bit of that back bend again. Try not to round forward. Really press into the floor. Heel comes back forward. Now, as smoothly as you can here, with the hand, reach the left hand through, grab for the outside of the foot, and we're just going to revolve this pose here. Good. Now come back to center. Arms lift up. And Tadasana. Good. Same thing other side. Right hand, right hip. Firm down to that left leg. And left two fingers. Index and middle finger grab for the big toe. Chest is lifted. Left heel goes forward. Good. Now we can begin to open up. You can take the left arm out, taking the gaze out towards that side. But remember, that right leg is firm. We're building strength in that quad and that hamstring in the bottom of the foot. Now here, nice and slow. Foot comes back forward. Keep a grip on the toe. Reach the hand through, grab the outside, and revolve this twist. Good. Firm down through the leg. Good. Nice and slow. Come back forward. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, mountain pose. All right, good. Take a breath. Good. All right, now we have standing bow pulling pose. So here we want to do is bring the right elbow to the right hip, palm faces out, almost like you're kind of holding a little platter there in your one hand. And then bend the right knee and bring the foot to the hand so you can grab on the inside, right at the ankle joint, right where it bends. Now squeeze the knee. Let's inhale that left arm up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, begin to kick. Allow this right shoulder to completely relax. And you want to use the strength. You want to kick that leg into the hand, but also think about using these glute muscles, these hamstring muscles to lift towards the ceiling. Now this is going to draw tension in the bow. You may here get to a point where you can't kick anymore. That's when you can start to bring the upper body down a little bit, but chin is away from the chest. The chest stays lifted, so we maintain the integrity of this back bend. Now, drop the right hip towards the floor. Decrease the cinch up the circumference of the waist as we start to kick the toes higher, get the hamstring, get the glute engaged, lift and kick a little bit more. And slowly kick back out and relax down. Good. Same thing, left side, left elbow, left hip. Bend the knee, bring the foot to the hands. So we grab right where it bends. Then we squeeze and ease, inhale, right arm up towards the ceiling, keeping that length. And then just begin with a kick. We'll begin with a kick and firming down through that standing leg. So we don't get a lot of resistance work here in yoga, but we use the mat as much as we can to provide that resistance. Left shoulder is relaxed. We're kicking into that hand, lifting the toes towards the ceiling. Now you may get to a point again, you can't kick anymore. Start to bring the upper body down. Chin is lifted. The chest is lifted. And then start to stretch the right fingertips towards the front of the room. Start to kick the left toes up towards the ceiling. Keep kicking. And slowly kick back out. And relaxing back down. Good. All right, one more little pose here in our standing series or balancing series. So step to the back of the mat. This is going to be our balancing stick, but we're going to do it just a little bit differently today. We'll get into it just the same, but it might be a little different. Now here, inhale the arms up. This time, just don't touch the palms, just reach the fingers up. Take that same step forward on your right foot, and then nice and slow, as you start to lean forward, start to bring the hands back behind the body. So squeeze these bottom tips of the shoulder blades together. Now, start to bring the upper body down a little bit. Start to lift the leg up a little higher here. We're going to progress this into a standing split, so nice and slow. Bring all the way down, and then when you get to a point where you can't find your balance, then you can bring your hands to the mat. Lift the left leg a little higher. Option to wrap one hand, both hands around the calf. But remember that compression we were working on feeling in our stomach and our thighs? Try to bring the belly towards the thighs, but squeeze this left, right, that's your left glute. Lift it up towards the ceiling. Now here, release the grip. Reach the arms forward this time. Nice and slowly come all the way up. Step the left foot back, right foot to meet it. Good. Keeping the hands up, same thing, second side, step the left foot forward. And then control this motion as you lean forward. Start to bring the hands back. So we're working on our Shalabhasana hands. So those bottom tips of the shoulder blades are squeezed together. Imagine the fingertips reaching towards the back of the room and palms are down towards the mat. Good. Now, as slowly as you can, start to bring the upper body down. Start to bring the lower body up. Good. And when you get to the point you can't balance anymore, hands come to the mat. Option to wrap one hand, both hands around the calf. But squeeze this right glute. We're using those muscles to really lift up, but we're squeezing here too, trying to keep that compression down. Good. Now releasing the grip. Arms go forward. Good. Inhale, come all the way up, stepping the right foot back. The left foot comes to meet it. And mountain pose. Good. All right, now let's take a quarter turn on your mat. If you're not at the back of the mat, you should get there now. Now here what we want to do. Inhale the arms up above the head, palms come together, and take about a 3 or 4 foot step to the right. Inhale, breath, flat back, and exhale, we fold forward. Now if you can reach down, grab the outside of the heels. If you can't quite get the heels, you can grab the ankles, you can grab the calves, whatever you want. But first set, you notice she's looking straight down. So we're going to try to bring the forehead, the lips to touch the floor. At the same time, think about lifting the hips, lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Now as we're pulling on the heels, elbows come closer to the knees. Feel those belly muscles pulling the stomach between the thighs. Now take an inhale breath. And exhale, pull a little more, straight legs, forehead on the mat. And then release the grip. Arms out to the side. Flat back lifts us up. Then we'll take one fluid step. Try to coordinate bringing the feet, the hands to touch at the same time. And mountain pose. Good. All right, here, we're going to do a second set. Typically, second set, we work a little arm. We're going to do something a little bit different today. Inhale the arms up over the head. Palms come together. And this time, just take as wide of a step as you can that feels comfortable on the floor. So we're going to try to work on a little bit of these middle splits. Now, inhale breath here. And on the exhale, take a forward fold. Just bring the hands to the mat. And when the hands come to the mat, just find a position that feels comfortable. You start to walk the legs out a little bit. Keep the hands on the floor. And we just want to start to feel these inner thigh muscles. Now, if this is uncomfortable on you for any reason, knees or anything like that, feel free to take the more traditional version. But now, as we're in this position, imagine you're trying to squeeze the feet together. So we're building strength. We're working these inner thighs, these inner adductor muscles. Everybody wants a side splits, but if you don't have strength with the range of motion, we kind of get ourselves at a little bit of a deficit. So squeeze the feet together. Good. Feel those inner thighs engaged. Another breath here. And then, nice and easy, walk the feet back together. That's when you're comfortable, nice, good position. Arms out to the side, flat back. Keep squeezing the legs as we inhale, come all the way back up. Hands and feet come to touch. And Tadasana. Good. All right, now we've reached triangle. Trikonasana, this is the pinnacle of our standing series. We'll do 2 sets of Trikonasana today. This time, inhale the arms up. Palms touch, and then take a nice step out towards the right arms parallel. Turn the right toe to face the front of the mat, and then drop into a lunge. So the length of the lunge is arbitrary. The shorter the stride, the easier it is. The longer the stride, the more we have to work. But be sure, shin is straight up and down. Weights balance inside and the outside of the foot, and the toes can slightly grip. Now take an inhale breath, and on the exhale, right arm comes down, left arm comes up. Now, a lot of times, elbows at knee, you can press the elbow into the knee. You can press the knee back into the elbow as the fingertips reach towards the ground, towards the toes. Good. And then start to look, take the gaze up towards the ceiling. Start to rotate that spine up. And imagine as you're doing this, think about the shoulder blades squeezing together behind the back as we take an inhale breath. And on the exhale, open up a little more, knee into the leg, leg into the knee. And then inhale will lift us up. Straighten the front leg. Turn the toes forward, left toes back here, then drop into the lunge. Same thing. Front shin is straight up and down. Little stride length is arbitrary, whatever feels right on your body. Toes grip, weights balance in that front foot. Inhale breath. Exhale, left arm down, right arm goes up. Pressing the knee into the arm. Pressing the arm into the knee. And we're trying to keep that back leg nice and straight too. So here, maybe even squeeze that right glute a little bit. Think about bringing that top hip a little closer to the floor. Good. As you lift the top ribs a little higher towards the ceiling. Now open up the arms just a little bit more. And then using that inhale, come all the way back up. Left leg straight, toes forward, feet and hand come together. Tadasana. Good. Let's take a breath here. And we'll do our second set. Same thing. Maybe second set, we take a little bit wider of a stride. Just, decrease the difficulty of it a little bit. Inhale, arms above the head. Palms come to touch. And same step out towards the right, maybe a little wider. Right toes forward, drop into the lunge. Now we know we're balancing the foot, function straight up and down. Take a quick peek at that back foot. We want the toes one day at a 45-degree angle with the feet placing forward. Toes facing forward. Now, take an inhale breath. Squeeze the feet together. Keep that. And exhale. Right arm down. Left arm goes up. Now, don't lose that engagement in the leg. So still squeeze that back foot towards the front heel. But still try to drag that front heel towards the back foot, working inner thigh muscles, working hamstring muscles. And then left ribs lift up a little bit. Squeeze the left glute. Try to drop this hip straight down. Now open up a little more. Reach the top hand back. Press the knee into the arm. And the inhale lifts us up. Legs straight. Toes forward. Left toes back. Final side. We drop into that lunge. We know what to do with the front leg. Take a quick peek at that back foot. The toes should be a little forward, 1 day 45. Now drag the heels like you're trying to squeeze the mat together. Inhale. Exhale, left arm down, right goes up. Don't lose the engagement inner thighs. Sometimes it's easy. I mean, we can just kind of get in here. We can kind of rest a little bit on that thigh. And if that's what your body needs, great, go for it. But if you really want to work, try to build strength in these poses. These are warrior postures, fierce poses. So squeeze the legs together. We're supposed to be nice and strong here in this posture. Reach the top arm back. Reach the bottom arm back as we squeeze the shoulder blades. Dropping the hips lower. Left, right ribs lift up. Nice, and breathe. And change. Come back up. Legs straight. Toes forward. Feet and hands both come to touch. Tadasana. Good. 2 more standing poses. This time, inhale the arms up over the head. Bring the palms to touch. Keep them together. And then take about a 3 to 4 foot step towards the right. Now pivot to face the front of the mat. Take a quick peek at your heels. The heels should be either in one line or about hip width. We don't want our legs crisscross. Good. So widen your feet a little bit. Good. Now inhale, breath, lengthen everything up. Exhale, tuck the chin. Round the belly. Try to bring the forehead down towards the knee. 2 options here. Some folks like to bend the knee and get that forehead and knee compression. Go for it. You can bring the hands to the mat if you like. Separate them. If you want to keep the palms together, fingertips on the mat, kind of work on a little more balance. But here, think about decreasing the space. You want to hollow out the belly here, especially on this right side as we try to lift up here. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, press the mat away. Bring the forehead to the shin. Maybe that front leg straightens 1 day. Good. And then palms together. The inhale lifts us up. Quarter turn left. Keep on turning to the left. And then, again, take a quick peek at your feet. Make sure your feet aren't crossing the midline. If you're not sure what that means, this kind of means like if you see me here, if our feet are kind of like that, we kind of prefer to have them either heels on line or hip width, a little bit better on that SI joint. Now, inhale, lengthen fingertips up. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the belly, round forward, forehead towards the knee. Again, options to keep the hands pressed, fingertips on the mat to work for balance. If you want to work on a little more depth, you can separate. But again, this left hip is lifting up. We're trying to decrease the space, hollowing out the belly. Almost we're really trying to cat our spine here. Good. Now take an inhale breath. And on the exhale, press the mat away as we straighten the front leg. Maybe the forehead will touch the knee. And then change it. Palms together. The inhale lifts us up. Quarter turn to the right. And feet and arms down. Make sure feet weren't up. Good. All right. Last standing pose. We have our tree and our toe if that's in our practice. So here, firming down to that left leg. Bring the right foot up into your hip crease. We ideally want to grab it traditionally. Palm up, sole of the foot towards the ceiling. But if that's uncomfortable on the knee for any reason, you can take a version on the inner thigh or just somewhere down the length of that leg. Right hand to heart. If the foot stays, we bring the left hand up to our heart. Option to stay here or fold forward at the hips. Hands come to the mat. This is a great place to stay too. And if you stay here, you can reach the right arm back, grab for the toes, or if you want to just build it out, go into our toe stand. As we're in our toe stand, think about doing this as we're sitting down. Think about trying to squeeze the knees together in this toe stand. Might help you find a little more balance as we lift one arm up, the other arm up. Good. Now toe stands when you're ready, nice and easy. Let's come back up. We'll all meet up in our tree. And release down. Good. Same thing, left side. Firm down to the right leg. Bring the left foot up. Bicep curl grip. Left-handed heart, or again, foot anywhere down that chain. Right hand to heart of the foot stays. And same thing, hinge at the hips. You can bring the hands to the floor, wrap around for the bind, or build out the toe stand. But if you are standing there in tree, that right leg is straight, solid, and unbending. We're pressing that left big toe mount, the right big toe mount into the mat. Toes can slightly grip, and we're always maintaining that strong foundation of our standing leg. Again, toe stands can think about squeezing the knees together. And then when you're ready, come back out, find our tree, and relax down. Good. And here, let's inhale the arms up over the head, palms touch. And then exhale, hands to heart. That is our standing series. So I take a little bow for that. You can. Brings us to our second official water break and our first Shavasana. So real quickly, just grab a drink if you're thirsty, and we'll meet on our mats, on our backs. Good, here. And as we find Shavasana, traditionally, we kind of mention tradition, but then we kind of want to work with what feels best in our body. But traditionally, heels together, toes out, arms next to the body as close as you can get, and palms up. The eyes tend to stay open traditionally. If you like to close them, just find a little bit of something that's just a little more comfortable in your body. This is just a little chance just to tune in, reach or get back into them from working on the standing series, kind of allow just our body just to feel the sensations of all the poses we just did. As well as, just help us realize we got 20 minutes more to go. We got some floor series to do. Nice, easy breath in and out. Good. Now here, bring the right knee towards the right shoulder. And release all 10 fingers just below the kneecap, and then try to squeeze the knee as much as you can. And as we're squeezing the knee towards the shoulder, imagine that right hip is moving down towards that left heel. And then here, as much as you can, think about lengthening through that left heel so we get that leg nice and straight. Good. This is kind of a little prep to work on some of these front splits. Good. Now take another inhale breath. And on the exhale, bring the knee to the shoulder. Bring the right hip down towards the left heel as we lengthen through that left heel. And release, leg long. This time, bring the left up. Opposite grip on top, right below the kneecap. And then really squeeze the left knee towards the left shoulder. And as we draw the knee towards the left shoulder, imagine this left hip bone just moving down towards that right heel. It's not really, you might go down there a little bit, just working a little bit of pelvic rotation. And then with that right heel, really stretch it forward towards the front of your mat. You get a little bit of that asymmetrical stretch again. We're stretching out that front quad on the right. Now inhale breath. And on the exhale, knee to shoulder, left hip down to right heel. And release the legs long. Good. Third part, bring both knees up towards the chest. Squeeze them together. And then reach up around the shins. If you can grab for opposite elbow as you can. Now, typically, I like to, we kind of stay of our flat back. This time, think about lifting the head up off the mat. Curl up into a nice little ball. Good. But if you can really reach over for the elbows. And as we're doing this, think about squeezing the heels towards the butt. Think about pointing the toes down towards the back of the mat. And then really try to create that arch, really rounding the spine, getting the shoulder blades up off the mat again. Now squeeze a little bit more, forehead to the knee. And relax down, legs long, arms by the side. Good. Take a breath here. And then we're going to do our only transitional sit-up here of the morning. Any sort of back issues or just don't like the idea of doing a sit-up right now, feel free to roll to the stomach. Otherwise, arms up over the head. We cross only the thumbs. Flex the toes towards the face. Now take an inhale breath here. Hold the breath. And then sit up, double exhale. Reach for and beyond the toes. Good. And then we can all roll to our stomach and begin our spine strengthening series here. As we know, Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. So here we want the chin facing forward on the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders. And the hands can slightly grip the mat a little bit, just like we're working on the big toes. Press those big toes or the mounds of the base of the first finger into the mat now. Take an inhale as we lift the chest up off the floor. Squeeze the legs. Press the feet into the mat. Start to draw the shoulder blades down the spine and then use this strength here. Lift the chest up a little bit more. And lower back down. Right ear's in the mat. Let's look to the left side of it. All right, here, second set, same exact thing. Hands under the shoulders, chin mat facing forward. Squeeze the shoulder, arms towards the side. Squeeze the shoulder blades down, squeeze the feet, inhale, and lift up. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Squeezing the legs. Now, a couple things here. If you want, cinch up the waist. You can lift the chest up a little bit further and maybe extend the arms a little bit, take it into your back end. Or if you just want to lift the hands up and take all the work into it. And slowly lower back down. Left ear's on the mat. Good. Now here, we're just going to move straight to our Shalabhasana, our traditional locust. So here, bring the chin to center, stretch the arms out wide, jet plane wings, and then squeeze the legs together as much as you can. Now here, take an inhale breath and then lift everything up off the floor you can. So as we're lifting up, shoulder blades move down away from the ears. We want to kind of turn off this upper trap working. We want to get these lower traps, middle traps working a little bit more. So shoulder blades down. We're squeezing here. Now lift the fingertips higher. Lift the legs higher. And lower back down. Right ear's on the mat. Good. All right, this time, your arms are by your side. Turn the palms down. Good. Squeeze the legs. Now, bring the shoulder blades back. Stretch the fingers towards your feet. Now, inhale, lift everything up again. Now, as we're lifting up, keep trying to reach the fingertips towards the floor. We're working a little bit more of these lower mid traps, turning off the upper traps. Now, try to lift the hands a little higher up off the floor. Try to lift the feet a little higher. Now, look up, lift up another inch. And lower back down, looking to the side. Good. All right, Dhanurasana, we have our floor bow. So we'll do 2 sets here. So if you have trouble getting into one, grabbing both feet, do one side at a time. So bend both knees, reach back and grab the feet. If you're doing one side at a time, grab the right foot, stretch the left arm forward. Good. Now take an inhale and just begin to kick. And as we're kicking, keep that tight grip around the feet. So we're not really want to grip at the fingers. We're almost like hooking with the hands, but kick the hands into the feet into the hands. Allow the shoulders to relax and then roll a little more into the belly. Lift the knees, lift the chest, look up towards the ceiling as much as you can and lower back down, looking side of the mat. Good. All right. Second set, same thing, or obviously left side, right arms forward. Bend the knees, squeeze. Good. Now take an inhale and let's kick. Now remember here, cinch up the belly a little bit too. So sometimes this is a matter of a little bit of a balance. So we cinch up the belly, find a little bit of stability in our spine, just allows our body to relax to get these legs, knees a little higher. Shoulder blades are down away from the ears as we lift the chest up. Good. Lift up another inch, chin up, eyes up. And lower back down, looking to the side. All right, here, taking a breath. Good. Now, hands come to the mat. Let's walk our way to the front of the mat for our fixed firm pose. So hands come up, walk to the front of our mat. Knees should be together and heels are apart. So we want to be able to sit down between the feet. Good. Now, remember, there should never be any pain here in this pose. So if this is all that feels good, great. If you have a block and you want to sit on that, that works as well. But if you want a little bit more, hands to the feet. And then bring the elbows to the mat. You might find that the knees need to open up a little bit. You can allow the knees to open. Just do what feels right on the body. If you want to come even further, you can bring the shoulders down. And then a couple options. You can reach here. You can grab for opposite elbows, or you can straighten the arms and lengthen them towards the back of the room. But as you're doing that, think about these front ribs, tucking those in. Good. Don't let those come up. And as you really reach the fingers back, and if you really want a little more out of this, squeeze the knees and squeeze the glutes. Good. Another breath here. And then, nice and carefully, hands to the mat. Use them to assist you all the way back up. Good. And then let's walk our way to the back of the mat. We get our half tortoise pose. So we want to sit here, hips on heels. Inhale the arms up over the head. Palms come together. Now keep that and then forward fold. Lean at the hips. Try to bring the forehead to touch the mat first before the hands, as much as you can. But if that doesn't happen, you can allow the hands, keep the hands pressed, but allow the pinky side to touch the floor. And then make sure you're looking straight down at the mat. So we don't want to bend the neck. We bend the neck, look down a lot throughout our life. So we want to try to keep the length in the spine. So think about crown of the head stretching towards the fingertips as the fingertips stretch towards the front of the mat. But at the same time, we're suctioning the belly back onto the thighs. We're trying to draw the hips back onto the heels. Now take a nice inhale breath. And on the exhale, lengthen fingertips forward, sink the hips back. And then squeeze the knees, squeeze the hands, use that breath. Inhale, come all the way back up. And relax the arms down. Good. Ustrasana camel. Let's come up high upon the knees. Just like earlier, knees and feet about hip width apart. Good. Hands can come to the low back, fingers pointing down. Inhale, breath here. And then exhale, press the stomach, hips, and thighs forward. Lifting the chest and looking back. Now, a lot of times this is enough work. You can feel that chest opening here a little bit more. If you want to build out the pose a little more, you can reach the hands back towards the heels. But imagine if you're doing that. Shoulder blades are moving away from the ears. And we're actually staying a little active here in this pose, using these muscles to help bend us backwards, because neurologically we bend one thing one way, the other side has to turn off a bit to allow that movement. Good. And then when you're ready, nice and carefully, hands to the hips, come back up and sit back down. Good. Taking a breath here. All right. Second set, we'll do the same exact thing. We can just change the hand position up if you like. So we come back up, hips above heels, feet and arms about, and knees about, knees apart. Now, if you want to bring the hands down this time, if you want to change it up and point the fingers up towards the ceiling, that'll just open up the chest a little bit more. Now, inhale breath. And exhale, squeeze the elbows down, shoulder blades down, and look up. You'll feel this kind of gets a little bit more into the chest in a different area. Again, if you want to build back, you can. If you want to stay here, you can. A lot of times, some of these back bends, it's a little bit of tightness, a little bit of fascial stuff in the front of the body from, again, we sit down, we're in this forward position a lot, so we don't have a tendency to move that. So squeeze the elbows together. Press the hips forward, chin away from chest. And carefully come back up and sit down. Good. Taking a breath here. And then we get rabbit Sasvangasana, which is going to be the complement to that pose. So what you want to do is you want to reach back for the heel. So imagine like you're putting your hands into your back pocket, slide them down. So thumbs go on the outside of the feet, fingers are on the inside of the feet. So really grab the feet with the hands. Now inhale breath. Exhale, tuck the chin. Round the belly, bring the forehead to touch the knee. When the forehead touches the knee, squeeze tight on those heels and then lift the hips up until the hips are moving towards the ceiling and the arms are straight. We want to think about having the inner part, the elbow crease, the elbow pits pointing towards one another. And we should have very, very little weight onto our head. So what we want to do is we keep a tight grip here on our hands, but we're also squeezing these heels nice and tightly together. And if you still have a little more flexibility, lift the hips. Maybe the knees come a little bit closer to the forehead. And if the knees are touching the forehead, press the knees into the forehead, lift up a little more. And keep the grip, sit back down. Nice and easy. Let's roll back up. And releasing the grip. Good. We get to our final stretching here. So roll over to that left side of your hip, the left hip. Take that right foot forward. Janu Shavasana. Now inhale the arms up over the head. Interlace, and on the exhale, lean forward and try to interlace all 10 fingers just below the ball of the foot. And if you can't quite get it again, you can use knee, or if you want to have a strap, you can use that. But drop the left shoulder towards the floor. Feel these two hip bones firmly onto the mat. And you can even press that left foot into that right thigh. Now, inhale, breath here. And exhale, rounding forward a little bit more. And good. Come back up. So we're going to do things just a little bit differently here today. So we're going to go into another version of Ardha Matsyendrasana, Ardha Matsyendrasana 3. So if you can take that left foot that's in there and put that into a lotus position, go for that. If that's not comfortable on your knee, keep that foot in that same position as it was. Now, if you're in the lotus position, take the right hand, reach behind the back, and if you can, grab that thigh. Left hand reaches over towards the outside of the foot. Now, if you're in the inner thigh position, right hand goes to the outside of the left knee, and we just twist the opposite direction. But lotus here, now, you're grabbing the thigh. Think about lifting the chest, looking over the shoulder, and try to have a nice straight spine as we take an inhale breath. And exhale, look a little more. And then change. Let's come back forward. Same thing, left side. So that left foot goes out. Start with our Janu Shavasana, right foot on the inner thigh. We stay nice and firm down through the hips. Inhale the arms up over the head, interlace, and we round forward. Good. Drop the right armpit towards the floor. Keep the left toes flexed towards the face. And press that right foot. You press a little firmly into the left thigh. Good. Inhale, breath here. And exhale, forehead comes down towards the knee. And change. Let's come back up. Same versions of Ardha Matsyendrasana 3. So again, if you can take that right foot into your lotus, that's comfortable, you're there. If you need to stay here, you're here. Now, if your foot's on the inner thigh and not in lotus, left hand to the right knee and just twist towards the right. If you're in lotus, this time, left hand reaches behind the back. If you can hook that thigh, go for it, and reach the right arm across and grab the outside of the left foot. Then as much as you can, try not to round forward, but think about lifting the chest. Nice straight spine as we look over that shoulder. Good. Take an inhale and exhale. Good. And then come back to center. Now here for our last forward fold, typically we keep the legs together. Just spread the legs wide. Nice Upavista position. We were working on a little bit of middle split today, so let's keep that going. Now here, inhale the arms up over the head. And exhale, forward fold. As we're folding forward, we want to reach the fingertips forward. Now, if you're super flexible here and you want to take this into a full tortoise position, I won't be able to get that, but you can reach the hands back up under the legs. Maybe I can. And just kind of bring the chest, the body, down towards the mat. Okay, good. But if you want to stay in your typical Upavista, work those inner thigh muscles. Good. Take a nice inhale breath. And exhale. Good. Wherever you're at, come back up. Now here, bring the legs together. Last little thing before we find our final Shavasana. You can face that way now. Legs together. Take your hands underneath the back of the thighs. Lean back a little bit and just lift the heels up. Now, if you can, try to lift the legs up here. Try to find a nice bit of compression. We were working on a little bit in our forward fold. And relax back down, laid back to the mat. Final Shavasana. Good. And then final Shavasana, just like the middle one. Traditionally, heels together, toes out, arms next to the body, palms up. But again, find a position that works best on your body that's comfortable. And here we're just bringing that awareness, that attention back to our breath. Allowing the body just to feel the sensations for the past 60-ish minutes that we worked. So nice in through the nose and back out through the nose. So I'm gonna let you guys have this like a minute and a half here, just nice, quiet shavasana. Even though we don't have as much time, but if I always recommend if you want to stay a little bit longer in your shavasana. But I'll be quiet, and I'll just let you know every 30 seconds. That's up. So that's 30 seconds. That's your second 30 seconds. And that's a minute and a half there. Again, feel free to stay here as long as you like and enjoy your shavasana, your meditation. But as always, I'd like to thank you for coming in, taking my class, and namaste.